Thank you so much again for everybody being here. This is not a repeat meeting of last week. This is a new meeting. Those who are members, the main thing I need from you is reaching more people. We need to build out your streets. We need a minimum of 8 homes connected to each other. They don't have to be on the same street. You might only have 5 homes on your street. You might have a half a mile between you and your next neighbor. It's okay. They are a part of your map, part of your community. We need each of you to reach out to your neighbors to build your community, because I have no way to do that. And that's what I'm designed this for, that we can all work together instead of just 3 people knowing about it. We're going to get out there and tell everybody. The amount of people that found out about this meeting last week, when I only announced it 3 days before then, was shocking and beautiful and amazing. If we wanted to, we could easily contact every single Bear Valley resident by the end of this week in a heartbeat, blink of an eye. Everybody here knows enough people to know enough people to know enough people to know enough people. That's what I need as your action as a member in this community. Help me build the neighborhood bigger and fill the grid in as an overall collaborative group. In the fire safe community that I'm developing, we'll cover those 3 things. We're going to cover how to keep your insurance rates down, and I'll help you work with your insurance. We're going to cover our fire mitigation, and we're going to prepare an evacuation plan and do a lot more community networking and have everything actionable so that we're all on the same page and we could do it in our sleep. That's a key point, people. 4 a.m., got to wake up pretty fast. What I'm also doing that's above and beyond what Firewise USA does is I have the website, I have information, I'm going to have all of our videos up there. This will be videotaped and be up there. We're going to do a lot of meetings. Firewise USA, your requirement is 1 meeting a year of your neighborhood discussing the stuff we're going to discuss at the second half of this meeting today. That's all you have, that's all they have to do for a year with you for interaction in the Firewise. They're giving you guidance, they're showing you what to do, they're giving you all the handouts, exactly like I will be, but you have 1 meeting. I plan to have as many meetings in a year as we can manage to pull off. I plan to do them on Zoom, I plan to record the Zoom meetings, and I plan to have them all on the website. We're going to cover so many topics and go through so many very, very important things we all need to be addressing together on an ongoing basis. To meet the Firewise USA requirement, you will only be required to attend what we're going to cover in the second half of today's meeting. To be part of my community, you will be welcomed and open arms to please attend everything we're doing, because the more information we have, the better. Okay. Also today, just by the grace of the way the universe works, I was at a birthday party at the club last night, and I had the blessing of meeting a fire inspector who's currently inspecting the fires in LA. And he's very kindly sitting in the back of the room right now, and I told him I might call upon him. So I'd love to just introduce him and let him say anything he wants to say for however many minutes, just a few minutes. It's Robert Rowe back here, and I don't know, can anybody hand him a microphone, or do you want Robert to come up here? He's coming up. He's better in front of a crowd than I am anyway. Yes, thank this man. Thank this man. He can introduce himself and tell you who he is and what he's doing.
Thank you, Shelley. Well, first of all, I'm not from here, but I have history here through a friend of mine that I'm sitting with tonight, Mike Jadlick. He's lived here and he's built homes up here, and so I feel sort of kind of part of Bear Valley Springs. But I just wanted to, and I'm going to keep it really short, Shelley. What she's doing, I think, is a great thing, because if you think about it, right now, we're all sitting in this room, but if we were alerted on our phones or whatever that we have a brush fire burning on the side of the hill, would we be ready? And I think you really have to think about that. And this is what she's trying to do. All right, somebody's telling me to get a little closer.
Tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay, let me back up a little bit. I am, believe it or not, retired, gray hair, but I'm retired from the Downey Fire Department, which is in LA County. I left Downey Fire Department as a deputy fire marshal and fire investigator. I started a company, PyroCop Inc. I'm not going to sell that. I'm just saying that I do investigations. That's what I've been doing for pretty much 27 years of my life. So, and recently I've got 4 active fires currently with the Palisades fire. Had the opportunity to go through that neighborhood with a client. It is, I guess the best word is horrible, okay? The devastation that I have seen at the Palisades fire is beyond belief. And so the passion that I have here is from my recent experience. Shelley is actually trying to prevent this from happening in this valley, but it is very real and very true, and there is a lot of heartbreak. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think we all kind of understand the risk. So she asked me if I would come up and speak a little bit today, and I think the first thing that stuck out in my mind as I'm listening to Shelley is that we are in this room. There's a small group. It's not really representative of the entirety of Bear Valley Springs. And I think that was a very important point, is that we have to understand the risk, number one, and we have to understand what we are capable of doing or not. And we have to understand that being neighbors and understanding our neighborhoods and being in communication with our neighbors is going to probably save your lives. So I encourage that. I encourage that you get to know each other, that you reach out to your neighbors, just to be able to understand the dynamic of the valley. You have to understand your risk. You have to understand who you may be trying to help out or trying to evacuate, the elderly maybe. And it's just, when I saw the Palisades loss, it made me think about my own neighborhood. I live in a wildland interface area too, in Altaloma and Rancho Cucamonga. So I'm below Mount Baldy. So I understand it. So I understand what it means when you see a plume of smoke. It's very disheartening, and you worry. So I guess my point is here today is that I think that what you guys are doing in the valley is extremely important. I think that what is important for you to understand is the dynamic that's involved with a fire loss as a result of the wildland fires. And what is your plan? You as a family in your home, what is your plan? And right now it's being presented. So in a nutshell, I have seen firsthand the devastation. Until you've lost your home, maybe even lost a loved one, then you understand it. But if we understand it beforehand and we do something to prevent it, or at least to, I guess, deal with it is the best word I can think of, is what this is all about. So if we can reach out to those that maybe didn't attend today, and maybe share with the opportunities that they have that Shelley is presenting today, I think that that's going to at least be the first step. So I have a real quick question. I talked to my friend Mike. I said, Mike, what would you do if you were alerted of a fire in Bear Valley Springs? Would you stay and try to protect your home? Or would you evacuate? Now, show of hands, how many feel that they would probably stay and protect their home? Okay, very noble. I completely understand it, because to be honest with you, I probably would think about that as well. But the most important thing is getting out, is listening to the evacuation orders, to listen to the fire service when they say leave, and to get out. Because you know what? You can come back and rebuild. It's horrible. I have experienced it. I've listened to these poor people that I deal with on these investigations. And there are so many reasons to stay behind and fight. But the better thing to do is prevent, right? And so the importance of you being at this meeting today is something that you will remember when that day comes, when Kern County and Bear Valley Springs is threatened by fire. I don't mean to scare you, it's just reality. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to share. Shelley, if you guys want to talk to me for whatever reason, I'm open, because I believe in this. And I think it's great that you guys are doing this in your valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Thank you. And to elaborate on Robert's last sentiments there, within Bear Valley, we have an evacuation plan that's available on the CSD website. Not everybody is recommended to evacuate at once. That would be a catastrophe. People who are up high need to get down off the hill. People who are in high, have trees and slopes against their house need to get out of them. People who are down on the valley floor with openness and accessibility, they can stay put unless it's right coming at them. Because if we all exit at once, nobody's making it to town, period. So that's a lot of what I want to work on. Robert is correct. You don't want to stay and lose your life. But we also don't leave all immediately the second that alert comes in, and we need to work together to have a coordinated understanding of who leaves when, why, where. And we're all going to get together with the Bear Valley ERT, Emergency Radio Team, to make sure everybody has a radio that's in this program, my Fire Safe Community, so that we have our own alert that is tied in with Bear Valley Police and Danehurst directly. So we'll be dialed in with that. Okay, so this will be the end of the open part of the meeting. Now, as far as sharing information with people, I've got handouts. You can send people to the website and you can share the links. You can share the links to my YouTube videos. If you haven't looked at my website, please do. I've put a good bit of information on there and it's going to keep growing every single week. I'm going to add more and more and more and more information. You can share the links to it on social media, Nextdoor, YouTube, text them, use your cell phone. You can connect with neighbors without leaving your house. We have the technology. We could literally, from everybody that's in this room now, we could connect with everybody in Bear Valley by tomorrow without setting foot of our house if we truly wanted to. I've started this for Bear Valley Springs. In the past week, I've been approached by a lot of other neighborhoods and a lot of other people who want me to come in and help them as well. So we're going to have to establish the individual different neighborhoods. Stallion has a CERT team, which Bear Valley does not have. So you've got your CERT team. I would connect with them, and they should have a radio response team set up there. And if they don't, as a FireWise community leader, I will help Stallion Springs work in that direction and make that come together. Those are the kind of things that I want to address and get it out there no matter what community you're in. Absolutely. So you can share out this information with all these different social media and technologies without leaving your house. So please do that. And I've got the handouts there. So as of today, anybody who now wants to become a member, Julie is back there and she has a little form you could fill out that gives you my information. My annual membership fee is $100 a year, and that's for my Fire Safe Community. That is not for FireWise USA. That's a free program. You can go do that one on your own for free. It's there. So anybody who wants to join right now and stay for the meeting we're going to do, which is the second half of we're going to do our action plan now for getting into starting our opening the FireWise program for our 5-foot clearance. You could literally go to my website, which is back up there, firesafecommunity.com, and you could literally pay the $100 membership now, fill the form out with Julie, and stay here for the rest of this meeting. Otherwise, what we're going to do now is it's everybody who says, yes, let's go, let's stay, and we're going to go through the action plan. I will have this on video, so any members who do need to leave now or want to leave now will have this on video, and any members who've missed it will have it on video. What we need to accomplish now, that is a requirement of the FireWise USA program, is an interactive roundtable kind of a discussion of what each of us plans to do to mitigate the fire clearance in the 5-foot range around our house. And as we discuss it amongst ourselves, we'll come up with new ideas that we hadn't thought of. And that's the way the program is designed, and that's what we're about to do now. So thank you so much for anybody who wants to leave now. Anybody who wants to stay, make sure you're a member, and we're going to start addressing this for our 5-foot clearance. And yeah, I'll take a few questions first. Thank you.
2 quick questions. When is the deadline to sign up for your community? And 2, if we don't have enough neighbors to make if we pay, what happens and we're not allowed to be included because of...
If that were to happen, I would definitely refund you. I don't anticipate that happening because even if the 7 neighbors closest to you absolutely have no interest in this, we'll just pass them by and fill the grid around them. The program can work that way. Once our neighborhood, your neighborhood is certified, there's no late enrollment after the fact, so any of them who didn't do it this time won't be able to join your community once you're certified, but they're always available to start their own community. Okay, as far as my 6-week deadline, I'm doing that for Bear Valley Springs, and I don't really have a deadline for Stallion or I've got Alpine wants in, Golden Hills. My deadline, it's not that so much a deadline, it's that insurance is going to get canceled come July and it's going to quadruple in price come August. That's our reality that's coming our way right now. So I'm trying to make the most communities and neighborhoods I possibly can and get them certified before that happens. I can still do neighborhoods after that happens, but there's going to be a lot of people who've already lost their insurance. So I'm trying to get to where I'm doing it as fast as possible, and that's the only reason I put a 6-week window on it. And again, it's not a Firewise USA window. It's a Shelley Black Safe Community window. I just want to get us all safe before the poop hits the fan this summer. But I will continue doing it ongoing, probably for years to come, to be honest. My whole life has led me to this moment, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to help anybody and everybody I can. But whoever gets in now, then we can get it going that we're ready for this summer. If we start later or your neighborhood doesn't get filled in time, I won't turn you away. We won't not be in the program. We'll still go forward. We just might not get you there in time for the insurance stuff to hit. Okay, we got another question here. The question was, is the Insurance Commissioner of California on board with the Firewise USA program, and are the insurance companies on board with the Firewise USA program? Yes and yes. Firewise USA is a national program. It was started by the National Fire NFA, Robert probably knows. It's a national program that started it in California. It's administered by CAL FIRE. In Kern County, it's administered by kernfiresafe.org. It is a contract, I don't know if a contract's the right word, it's a written agreement that's mandated, that is governed by CAL FIRE. And the state of California has mandated as of October 1st, 2024, that if you are a Firewise neighborhood certified house, it's a national database. You go into the database as a certified home or certified address. You then are mandated to get a discount on your insurance. Within my Fire Safe community, I'm going to show you how to get way more discounts than just that and help you have what you need to get it to your insurance in the manner that they'll give you those discounts. You're obligated to get them, but they're not handing them out easily. The question was, would the discount be on the CAL FIRE plan, or would it be on his overlapping plan on top of CAL FIRE? Both. Go ahead, Kevin.
I spent some time talking with my insurance company, which is California Casualty, which you can only be insured by them if you are either a first responder, a police officer, or in the police department, fire department, healthcare, or teacher, former teacher. They told me after I pushed them pretty hard, it took a little while because the first guy I talked to didn't know anything about the program. He's like, well, you can get $2 for this and $5 for that. And I said, yeah, but this is a state program. He says, let me talk to my supervisor. He said between 10 and 25% once I get certified and depending on the neighborhood. So there is a substantial amount available, but you have to push to get somebody to talk to somebody that knows something. It wasn't anything he knew off the top of his head, or at least wouldn't admit to.
Thank you, Kevin. So what Kevin found is he could get a 10 to 25% discount on his insurance for being in this plan. But the insurance didn't let him get that info easily at all. He had to pull teeth and be persistent, it sounds like. That's what I'm doing in my Fire Safe community to help all of you through all of that so you don't have to try to do it by yourself. Okay, thank you, Kevin. All right, another question here.
Thank you, Shelley, for doing this. There's a large amount of us here today that are from Stallion Springs, And I have been in contact with you via email, and I'm wondering if you have been able to connect with our general manager to see about hosting these meetings in Stallion so we can get things going there.
It is on my list for this week.
Okay.
This past week, our power was out one day, and then my monitor died another day, and my computer guy was out sick, and I was trying to make the website and take care of everybody that joined, so I did not get to them, but they're very high on my list.
Good, yes, because we have a large group here today.
Thank you.
That is going to be reaching out to all of their neighbors, as I have been doing.
Thank you.
So hopefully we'll get going very, very soon. Is
I will help
anybody
you.
else here from Stallion that has a question for Shelley?
I think the overriding point that we need to realize is that it puts us back in a database where we're no longer being extorted, having these ridiculous choices of insurance where they don't have any, their backing is basically offshore companies with not the funds. So people think they have insurance and they don't. By doing this, from what I can understand, is that we go back on a database into a pool where we can have the availability and options again of major insurance companies picking us up. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you. So basically what she's saying is that her understanding of when you get a Firewise USA certification, which again is one of the 3 things I'm offering here, but it's an important one, that it puts you in a position, instead of being stuck with only having 1 or 2 insurance companies that are talking to you, that you have the opportunity to shop insurances and see which ones are going to even give you a bigger discount for being in the Firewise USA program. Insurance companies have their own insurance companies. The insurance companies insuring the insurance companies are putting pressure on them to stop insuring homes that are flammable. Find homes that are not flammable. That's the directions. Firewise USA is the only national program that addresses those in this manner and has got the mandates through with CAL FIRE and the state of California and the insurance companies. Anyone who's gotten a new policy since October 1st, if you open it up and look at it, you'll see you have what's equivalent to good driver discounts in your policy. We covered those last week. If you watch the video on my website, you will see all the detailed information on that. Okay, one more question and then we're going to get going on our stuff because I know people want to get out of here. All right, we've got one question in the back. Thank you.
Yes, we're in Alpine Forest, but we have horses, sheep, goats, and we're part. Is your plan part of to be able to evacuate large animals?
Thank you. Great question. So he's in Alpine, and he wants to know if working within my fire-safe community will be addressing the evacuation of large animals. Absolutely. That'll be part of what we're addressing. Right now, we're trying to get through the Firewise USA program, and that's what I'm going to focus on. But once we get all those things rolling, then we need to really be working on the evacuation plans and working on them as a cohesive community so we know who has the equipment to get all their animals out and who doesn't, who's in situations it's going to be more challenging to get out. We'll cover all that so that we have actionable plans that we all are aware of. Yeah, you're welcome to. And then we'll stay and do this roundtable discussion of what your next steps are, of what you're going to do for your 5 feet mitigation. And then I'll meet with you guys separately to get working on all the same stuff. But we can do it all together. I'm going to have this on my website so that I can reach as many people in California as possible because the need is here and the time is up.
So could we also have that? Because
Yes.
And in line with that, say if there is only 10 people in our area, say 4 people, and then are they going to be linked up with the whole of Stallion?
No, we'd probably have to
In the
build
same
some independent
neighborhood?
communities. They need, a Firewise USA neighborhood needs to have, they need to be connected to each other because the foundation is having the community collaboration and community connections. So the question was, if I help them in Stallion and we get just a couple homes here and a couple homes here, What we'll have to do is we'll have to have a minimum of 8 homes here and a minimum of 8 homes here. We'd love to build that out and run that line as far as we can, but if all we have is 8, we'll put through 8. So I do take credit card, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle. On my website, it's secure. You've got PayPal and Apple Pay, Google Pay on there, I think. I do have Venmo and my PayPal. I meant to bring the scan codes with me, and I did not do that today, so anybody who wants to use that can shoot me a text, and I'll shoot you the scan code when I get home, and you're welcome to still, you're here, you're in, we'll do it, you're in today. I think it's time. Let's get on to our 5-foot mitigation, and that's all we have to address for this first calendar year to be in the FireWise USA program. We're not worried about anything beyond 5 feet. That's at least as far as our certification. Do all of you have the FireWise assessment observation? It's a 2-page document. This questionnaire gives you things to think about, things you can address, things you want to do now, and also gives you things to say, okay, I'm not going to get to that this year, but I'm going to try to get to it next year. It's all an ongoing process of continued improvement at every phase and every possibility that you can. Just because I want you to think about it, and then we're going to open up for people to discuss it. What we want to do is have people say, oh, I'm going to do this, and oh, I think that's a good idea. This week, I already had people call me telling me that they've trimmed their trees 6 feet up. I've had people calling me telling they've cut their trees down. I've had people tell me they had their wood chips removed. I've had people telling me they're getting hardscape brought in 1 week. That's what we need. As a neighborhood community, we are to be interacting with all of this aspect together. That's the FireWise USA Foundation. Things to think about, and then we're going to discuss. Is there dead vegetation, dried leaves, pine needles, and ground debris anywhere near your foundation? Is hardscaping used around any perimeters to keep them free of litter or debris? Hardscaping is, you could have concrete siding, you could have stucco siding versus wood siding. I personally have a raised house, and I have an opening underneath my house. So I currently have like a landscape fabric around that, but I need to replace it with 1/8 inch thick wire, 1/8 inch thick wire around the whole foundation of my house so that leaves and embers can't get under there. And as far as your 5 feet goes, you can paint your deck with paint that has fire retardant in it. If your house gets engulfed on fire, that deck's going to burn. That paint's not going to save your deck. That paint is designed to stop the embers from catching that deck on fire. But if you have a bunch of fuel around the foundation of your house and it's burning, that deck's still going to catch. So that's the kind of 5 feet stuff we're addressing today. Do you have concrete, stone, or gravel walkways? And here's the big one, have wood mulch products been replaced with non-combustible alternatives such as crushed stone or gravel options? Again, and I was talking with Robert last night and telling him how everybody here is bringing in semi-truckloads of 4-inch long wood chips, and it pretty much, I think it kind of blew Robert's mind. It certainly blows mine. So not a good fad and not going to help any of us, not going to qualify in the program. Are there trees or shrubs within 5 feet of the home? Are there branches overhanging the roof or within 10 feet of chimneys? Now, ultimately, perfect scenario, cut all your trees down. None of us want to cut all our trees down. I certainly don't. And it's not really a perfect scenario because trees do give us water and air as well that help balance the ecosystem. So, but if you have them close to your home, you need to be mitigating them. Any trees should be trimmed a minimum of 6 feet up. If it's a really big tree, they should be trimmed 1/3 of the way up, okay? If you have trees that are hanging over your roof or your chimney, trim those branches, just get them away from your house. Any combustible items like furniture or planters on a deck or within 5 feet of your home. Any firewood piles within 5 feet of the home. Firewood should be at least 30 feet away from your home. How about a propane tank within 5 feet of your home? By the way, if you've never seen a propane tank explode in a wildfire, There's a video of it on my website. Go take a look under the videos section and watch it. Okay, are there any structures within 5 feet of your home, like a doghouse or a playhouse or a tough shed? Do you have double pane fire retardant windows? Do you have fireproof eaves? These are eaves that do not have open vents. There's different things you can have for closed eaves, and I would recommend having a professional make sure that you've got state-of-the-art, safe, fire-retardant eaves and vents. And we will work with finding those professionals within our community so that we have a database to access to make it easy. That's in the process, not yet completed. Do you have a wood shingle roof? Fortunately, most of us do not. Most of us have the composite roofs. The composites are quite fire retardant. A tile roof is quite fire retardant unless it's got loose shingles, like birds have made nests underneath them. Not so fire retardant with the bird nests in there. But a composite roof itself, will it burn? Well, yeah, you saw the fires in LA. It'll burn. Will it be the access point to a fire taking your house? No. As long as it's the current ones. You got an old roof, get a new one. Do you have wood siding on your home versus a fireproof siding? Concrete, of course, is your best. Stucco kind of comes in second place after that. And again, any combustible items within 5 feet of your home, a lot of us do. We store some stuff here or there. Clean it up. Let's make it look nice and make it safer. Is the bottom 12 inches of your home either concrete or a fire retardant material such as an 8-inch thick wire mesh? Within the FireWise USA program, I'm finding some conflicting information. It just could be where I'm accessing. Some are saying 6 inches and some are saying 12 inches. I think 6 inches is useless. Let's have at least 12 inches. I'd go 18 to 24 inches if you could. If the bottom part of your house has either concrete or the wire mesh, that's a huge savings for preventing, a huge protection from catching on from a wildfire from the embers. If you have any crawl spaces under your home, such as I do, you want to put the wire mesh we've talked about. We talked last week of who knew how to turn off their main water line and gas lines. We got a really good response on that. Most people knew how. Have you had your chimney spark arrestor inspected and or updated within the past year? And have you had your chimney swept in the past year? When Edison turns us off, you want to know how many people on my street had a fire going in their fireplace? A lot. But when I ask them about their spark arresters, I get a lot of blank looks, and that is terrifying.
I talked to the Southern California Edison guys, and the way it works is that we have wind things on the roofs. I'm on the same side of the valley you are. That's why we get shut off. Because on this side of the valley, it used to be 25 miles an hour, 50 mile an hour gusts was shut off. Now it's 30 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour gusts. They always send someone out first to make sure. But because Cummings, Alpine, Cummings Valley, and that side of the valley, we tend to get the higher gusts on the ridges there. That's why we're going out, and the other side, San Juan over, is not. In some of those wind things, because I know I've gone all along.
Yeah,
too.
it's interesting.
But just so you know, and they also come out and then they have to inspect it, as you know, before they can turn it on. So that's how. But they have raised the amount, to make it allow it a little windier.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So personally, when they turn our power off and I smell all my neighbors with their fireplaces going and those winds are howling, I sleep a lot lighter that night, let me tell you. So these are the kind of things that I feel it's really important that we're all addressing and becoming aware of, because I don't think everybody stops to think about it. Now, being that I have always lived in high fire risk areas, and being that I have been evacuated and that I was a volunteer firefighter for 20 years in National Forest, I can tell you, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's the attics that will catch your house on fire. Absolutely. An attic crawl space, that's a good access point for a fire. A lot of homes here don't have attics and crawl spaces up above. We've got slope ceilings for the snow. Our main access points from my personal experience is decks and eaves, stairs leading to decks, and wooden fences leading up to the house that are in that 5 feet range. Those are the main things that I have experienced are the access points to catch a home on fire. When we lost 14 homes in the fire in Majeska Canyon in 2007, a friend of mine's home, she'd actually lost it in 1980, then she lost it again in 2007. Same house, same spot. In 2007, her house had such wonderful clearance that the Orange County Fire Department had predetermined her house to be the staging area if and when a fire came. Her house burned down before it got to be the staging area. The deck took her house. Those are the things that we need to work on for this year for the first 5 feet. The second page there is for you to fill out information. What you can tell me here is all of these things that you already qualified for, which things you did not already qualify for and you have now changed and done the mitigation actions and you document it for me. I trimmed this tree, I moved the firewood pile, whatever you've done. And then you can also write on here for me the things that were listed here that you didn't get to, but you could realistically look at getting to them within the year. Like maybe you want to put in double pane windows and you haven't done it yet. Great, you don't have to do it in the next 6 weeks, but it'd be nice to do it if you want to, and you put it on the plan, it's your plan for next year. Does that mean you have to do what you say on your plan? It's kind of like New Year's resolutions. Let's hope we do, but I won't hold your toes to the fire if you don't. Anybody who'd like to share ideas that they have on their 5 feet, what they've already done in the past week, what they've already made a habit of doing, what they recommend doing, I'd love to open the floor up so that we have interactive. Once you've completed your action plans, you've done your mitigation, and you turn the paperwork into me, you're literally ready for me to take you to the Firewise USA and start the certification process, except for you're only one person. We need your whole street ready. So literally, if everybody had this done in the next 2 weeks, we could start the process in the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna hold out for the 6 weeks because I'm gonna try to fill in as many grids in the neighborhoods as I can. Thank you.